Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Churchill Downs here on Saturday. It is June 30th, 2018. I'm going to look at the stakes races on today's program from Churchill, but before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5 for more selections for race courses around the world. I'm going to look at the stakes races on today's program from Churchill, races 7, 10, and 11. So let's get on to it, starting off race number 7 from Churchill, which is the 118th running of the debutante. It's going for a purse of $100,000. This race is for fillies, 2-year-olds here. Field of 9 horses going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, or the distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the Churchill main track. And I show the diagram, just gives me a second to look down at my notes, just bear with me. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. Top selection here. I like the number 5 horse, the 5 horse Restless Rider. Gonna go 5-4-7-9 in the superfecta. 5-4-7-9 super. Top selection, the 5 horse Restless Rider. Brian Hernandez Jr. is on this 2-year-old filly by Distorted Humor. This horse's most recent outing, and only outing, came the 8th of June here at Churchill. 5.5 furlongs, main special weight for 48,000. You know, this horse won by 2 3/4 lengths. You know, before the race, this horse, this horse fell behind the gate. Well, it says fell behind the gate in the in the comment line, but it kind of fell to her side, if you want to go to be exact. But usually when horses do that, they don't run well in the race. But this horse just ran a hell of a race. If say it did take something out of her, how much would she really won by that day? But this horse, she ran a good race. Since then, she's been training well. I personally, I just think she's the best horse in this race by a mile. Because even with like I said, horses that fall before a race don't really win that easily like this horse did. I think here, second off the break, second race lifetime, this horse should really run well. I like her a lot. 5-2, she's my top selection here. Another horse, the 4 horse O'Keefe, I think you get a piece of it. This Arlington Shipper for Larry Ravelli. Jose Valdivia Jr. gets the leg up. This horse is only out and came the 27th of May at Arlington. 4.5 furlongs on the pile track and main special weight for 32,000. This horse won by 1.5 lengths and it was on lead all throughout. Had a easy victory there, but this horse did drift a little bit in the stretch, but other than that, she did have a very easy victory. She's been training well since then. She's a very fast horse. I think she'd get a piece of it also. In a multi-race, I would go 2 deep. The jackpot pick 6 begins with this race, so I would use these 2 definitely. So to recap my bets for the 7th race from Churchill, it's the 118th running of the debutante. As a top selection, I'm going to go with the 5 horse Restless Rider. Going to go 5-4-7-9 in the superfecta. I'll go 5-4 in my multi-race, whatever I decide to play, if I play it. So now let's get on to race number 10 from Churchill. The 10th race, it's the 9th running of the Kelly's Landing Stakes per $75,000. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 10 horses going the distance of ground of 1,400 meters, or the distance of ground of 7 furlongs on the Churchill main track. 1,400 meters, 7 furlongs. My top selection here, I like the 6 horse Warriors Club. Gonna go 6-10-3-5 in the superfecta. 6-10-3-5 super. Top selection, the 6 horse Warriors Club. 3-1. Gabriel Saez is on this 4-year-old colt by Warriors Reward. Horse's most recent ad came 9th of June here in New York at Belmont. 1 mile in the Met Mile handicap. This horse finished 10th by 11 3/4 lengths. Why Postra? Was quarter horsed out of the gate, it looked like, and just he just really couldn't keep up. I just think come back to Churchill, the home base. This horse just run a little bit better here. It's not such a tough race. Before that, Churchill, 7 furlongs on slop in the Grade 2 Churchill Down Stakes. This horse finished second behind Limousine Liberal. This horse ran a decent effort there, just missing at the end. It wasn't a bad race. I can imagine next year's the Churchill Stakes, Churchill Downs Handicapper Stakes, whatever they call it now. I wouldn't be surprised if it's upgraded from a Grade 2 to a Grade 1, because in the last few years that race has been becoming very more popular. But this horse, he ran a good second place finish there, and then before then, Commonwealth at Keeneland, 7 furlongs, April the 7th. Horse won by a neck. Didn't have the best of trips that day, but had a decent turn of foot to get there just at the end, beating Limousine Liberal, who turned the tables next start out on this horse. But before that, this horse was running at Oaklawn didn't run really that well there. Finished 6th in the Hot Springs, won a decent allowance race, but then finished 3rd in his seasonal reappearance. I just think coming back here to Churchill, lesser quality spot at 3-1, training well. I'll take my chances. I would single this horse in the multi-race. So to recap my selection for the 10th race from Churchill, It's the ninth running of the Kelly's Landing Stakes. As a top selection, I'm going to use the 6-horse Warriors Club. I'm going to go 6-10-3-5 in the superfecta. So now let's get on to race number 11 from Churchill. The 11th race, it's the 117th running on the Bashford Manor Stakes. Grade 3 purse, $100,000. It's for 2-year-olds here. The stars of tomorrow. Will some of these horses end up in the starting gate in about 10 months' time? We'll just have to wait and see. 13 horses here going the distance of ground. Distance of ground here of 1,200 meters or 6 furlongs on the Churchill main track. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs, and it is closing day at Churchill, I believe. Racing moves over to Ellis tomorrow, which is, Ellis Park. The last few years, the racing is going uphill. And this summer, the stakes program there is very nice. Hopefully I'll be playing a little bit more at Ellis Park this summer, especially Saturdays. The cards they drew so far for Sunday, Wednesday, and Thursday, those 3 cards were very nice. Some excellent stakes, an excellent stakes race coming up next weekend from Ellis, the Ellis Park Turf Handicap. It's a great race, so hopefully I'll look at that for YouTube. But back to this 11th race from Churchill, the Bashford Manor, the Grade 3 Bashford Manor. My top selection here, I like the 4-horse Sir Troubadour. I'm going to go 4-9-11-1 in the superfecta. 4-9-11-1 super. Top selection, the 4-horse Sir Troubadour, 2-year-old colt by More Than Ready. Ricardo Santana Jr. is on this one for Steve Asmussen. Source's most recent outing came the 8th of June here in New York at Belmont. 5.5 furlongs in the Tremont. This horse finished 4th by 2 lengths that day. Didn't have the best beginnings, but had a decent turn of foot at the end. He got up for 4th. It was a good, decent closing kick for this horse. Before that, Churchill on the slot, 5 furlong main special weight, 45,000. Horse won by 4 lengths. Was on a lead all throughout and just had a very easy walk in the park there. Since the Tremont, this horse has been training here at Churchill very nicely. First workout was 44 furlongs and 52 flat, which is good. And then a 3 furlong workout last week on the slop at Churchill in 39-1. Decent workout. I like this horse a lot here. Out of all the horses in this race, he's been the most, improving, I think. And I think he should really like the 6 furlong trip that he's getting today. So watch out for him. So to recap my bets for the 11th from Churchill, it's the 117th running of the Grade 3 Bashford Manor. As a top selection, I'm going to use the 4-horse Sir Troubadour. Going to go 4-9-11-1 in the superfecta. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKid5. Good luck.